Hello, my lovely community. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how I propagate succulents from a single leaf. This is rather easy, but you have to know some tips and tricks if you want to do it properly. First of all, you should choose the healthy and the beautiful plant which you wanna propagate. Second of all, take a leaf. Important thing is taking a leaf from the bottom of a plant and leave the young and small growths near the top. Hold the leaf firmly but gently near the base where it attaches to the stem. Twist it back and forth slightly and delicately. Wiggle it until it comes off. After you remove leaves from a stem, leave it somewhere for 2 or 3 hours to dry, but not in the direct sunlight. So here are my leaves. I have dried them for a few hours. I don't like to dry them for like weeks or months. I just let them dry for a few hours and now I decided to plant them. How I plant them is very easy. I just stick them into the ground. I've already planted one tray like this few weeks ago. This is it. Now I planted my succulent leaves and now I just have to wait. I will not cover them with this part. I just like to propagate in transparent plastic container. I like to see how roots develop, how everything is going. So yeah, this is it. I planted my leaves and now I just have to wait. Maybe this one I will plant somewhere in, I don't know, okay. One of the most rewarding parts of growing succulents is propagation. Seeing pups appears from a single leaf and growing into its own plant is such a treat. It's a free and easy way to increase your collection and even start sharing your plants with friends and family. Ghost plants are one of the easiest succulents to propagate. Propagating leaves do best when left alone somewhere there is bright indirect light to start to root. If you can forget about them for a while, that's best. I like to keep my leaves on a north-facing windowsill until they start growing roots. Most succulents will grow roots before they form a new plant, but when they have roots, they are ready to start taking up water. At this point, you can gradually move the plants into stronger light. Once they get a little bigger, for instance, in the case of these ghost plants, when they double in size, you can start to treat them like the rest of your plants and water when they look like they need it. All you need to do now is sit back and watch them grow. Eventually, the mother leaf will shrink and shrivel and fall off entirely. Some people remove the mother leaf when this happens, but this can damage the young plant, so I leave them until they fall off naturally. I will usually leave them in the same pot until they are larger and stronger enough to transplant elsewhere. So here I'm transplanting my leaves to a deeper pot as the roots developed well and repotting is needed. Just look at these roots. They are nice and strong and healthy. Like any other succulent plant, Graptopetalum do best when planted in a well-draining soil. I have been using a simple and easy mixture that has worked well for my plants. You can also consider making a sandy soil, which adds more drainage to the mix. This can be achieved by mixing cactus mix or potting mix soil with coarse sand. One good way to tell whether it's time to water is to check the moisture of the soil. The top inch of the soil needs to feel dry before you can water again. If you are unsure how much and how often to water in the beginning, it's always better to underwater and increase watering as needed. Pay attention to how your plant looks and you can adjust watering accordingly. Graptopetalum do best in areas that receive plenty of bright, partial sunlight. Light shade to full sun is best for these plants. They can also tolerate full sun, but they need to be acclimated to full sun in the beginning to prevent sunburn. The plant has a powdery, waxy coating on its leaves that serves as a protection from the sun. The more intense the sun, the prettier its colors become. Keep them under the shade and the plant will turn a dull gray color. Also, this type of Graptopetalum produces very beautiful flowers, and actually this is the reason why I propagate and grow it so many. Actually, I adore these amazing flowers. And here are some tips on how to encourage a Graptopetalum to bloom. First of all, make sure the plant is mature enough. When a plant blooms, it means it is ready to reproduce. So, if the plant is too young, it is simply not ready to reproduce and therefore will not bloom. Give the plant some time, usually if the plant is over 3 years old and beyond, it is mature enough to bloom. Second of all, make sure the plants are receiving adequate sunlight throughout the year and are kept in a bright location, even during colder winter months. And the last one, to encourage flowering, provide proper temperatures. They need a distinct difference in night and day temperatures as well as summer and winter months. Overwintering is also important if you want to see your succulents bloom. This can be achieved by keeping them cool and relatively dry in the winter months. And here is another update. Here I have Crassula leaves, jade plant leaves. And I just wanted to show you how they managed to grow these tiny beautiful babies. That is very simple to propagate succulents from a single leaf, because you can propagate them just from a cutting or from a stem, from a leaf, from everything. So here is my jade plant. As you can see, leaves have grown these beautiful tiny babies. And here is my another succulent that is also grown a baby from a leaf, from a single leaf. So as you can see, it's super easy to propagate succulents just from a single leaf. Also, here I have one more plant. I have been grown from a single leaf almost 4 months ago. Yeah, almost half a year ago. As you can see, it's already grown into a beautiful plant. The leaf is still here, and it's high time to transplant this plant. So yeah, everything is possible. You can grow and propagate your succulents just from a single leaf. And now I want to show you how I propagate jade plant from stem cuttings. Here I have a beautiful but a bit laggy bush of Cursula minor. That's why I decided to cut it and of course to propagate for having more of this plant. I like that tiny small leaves, they look so unusual for me. One way I multiply my succulent collection is through propagation. When I learned that I can reproduce my own plants for free, I was instantly hooked. It was long ago when I was a child. I started reading up and learning more about succulent propagation. Plant propagation is the process of creating new plants from the plants you already have. And it interested me so much. And actually, when I started trying and doing different types of propagations, and when I saw the whole process and when I saw the results, I actually fall in love with what I have done. And now I feel myself like a superwoman who can multiply the favorite plants. Yeah! There are several ways to propagate succulent plants. Certain species are easier to propagate than others. From my own experience, I have had the greatest success from stem propagation. Actually, stem propagation is pretty straightforward. You can cut off a piece of a stem from your plant, wait for it to dry and callus for a few days, then stick the dried end into the soil. It roots in a few weeks and you have yourself a cloned version of your original plant. From this original pot, I have taken stem cuttings and created mini clones out of these original plants. I got lucky that the plants I have here are all pretty easy to propagate from the stem cuttings. I did not know that back then when I first started propagating, but these plants were some of the easiest ones to propagate from stem cuttings. Success in the early stages was really encouraging and helped me in the process of learning more about propagation. From my experience with succulent propagation, I definitely have had the greatest success from stem cuttings. And here is how my cutted jade plant looks after about approximately 2 months. As you can see, here appears something red. It's because I placed it in the sun, in the sunniest place I have in my home. So as you can see, it grew a lot, and now it's rather beautiful bushy bush. Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so tiny leaves. It's jade plant minor. Yeah, jade plant minor. So beautiful for me. So cute. I like it. This is how it looks. So yeah, I hope you found this video informative, useful, or maybe funny. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I see you very soon. Bye!